listening to the IELTS podcast. Learn from tutors and ex-examiners who are masters of IELTS preparation. Your host, Ben Worthington.
Hello there, IELTS students. In this tutorial, we are going to be talking with Lucia, who has got a very interesting story to share about her IELTS experience. So welcome to the podcast, Lucia.
Hi Ben, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, I'm good. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and why you are taking the IELTS exam?
Okay, so like you said, my name is Lucia. I am from Portugal. So I took IELTS Academic for a professional registration in the UK. Yes, and I did IELTS Academic 7 times.
Wow, 7 times.
Yes.
That is determination. And
Yes.
You said for professional registration in the UK, is it to be a nurse, to work as a nurse there?
No, it's in the General Pharmaceutical Council.
Right.
Because I am a pharmacy technician, so I have to be registered with them.
I see. And part of this registration involves taking the IELTS exam.
So it is a requirement under the law. You need to have a set of scores in the IELTS Academic. Yes.
I see. So can you tell me about some of the challenges that you were facing with regards to IELTS?
Okay. Yes, lots of challenges. Initially, my challenge was with the reading part and writing, of course.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yes, because those were the parts where I was always under. Yes, it was definitely reading and writing, mostly writing.
Right, I see. And what did it feel like not having a solution to this issue with the writing?
Tears.
Oh
sometimes.
No. Oh no.
Yes, like what am I going to do? And when you see like a 6 all the time, and you may put so much effort, and it can be very frustrating, and you can think, oh, I'm going to give up.
Wow.
I had those thoughts sometimes, but because I'm really resilient, most of the time I was like, no, I'm going to do it. Even if I have to go there for 10 times, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find the solution.
Fantastic.
And I'm going to keep practice. And also, it's very important to realize that maybe you are not that good. Even if you think so, probably you are not that good. It's not the system. It's you, yeah? You need to improve.
Absolutely. And I just want to highlight Lucia's attitude there, the resilience and the tenacity to keep pushing forward and to keep moving forward and not taking band 6 as satisfactory, not accepting band 6 basically. With the other areas, it seemed like you had those under control. Can you share how you prepared for the other areas, for example, the speaking or the listening?
Okay. Regarding the speaking, English is not a complete unknown language for me, even before I came to the UK, because I was taught English at secondary school by about 5 years. So, and I used, even in Portugal when I was working there, I used to speak English with some English customers. So I was a bit confident with speaking. For listening, I practiced lots of IELTS Cambridge exams, basically. And I also found some tests on YouTube, for example. There are plenty tests on the internet
Yeah. And Lucia, is it true that in Portugal, the media, we're going back to the media again, but like if there's an American show shown or broadcasted on television, it's with the original English audio.
Yes, it is. The subtitles. We use subtitles.
Right.
So we are always in contact with the English language.
Right.
Yeah. So, that's why it's not complete unknown for me, the English language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because in Spain, as you probably know, nothing, practically nothing is with the original audio. It's all dubbed in Spanish, and it's I mean, I can understand the reasons for it, but I think in modern times nowadays it's really a bit of a handicap. But anyway, but
it's good that you highlighted that thing, because in Portugal, I think that's why Portuguese, they always make efforts to speak English when they have an English tourist asking for some directions. So they always look for speaking in English, and I think the fact that we have the subtitle system on the television has helped.
Yeah. I remember I was in Lisbon and I was asking for directions, and I was asking in Spanish, and the guy must have understood my accent, and he replied in English, which was kind of weird for me because but it's true. Everybody understands pretty much at a much higher level than they can speak it, I think, just because of this exposure. So just to summarize, with the listening, you was doing practice tests. With the speaking, you've got quite a lot of experience with that through school, through your job, and of course, living in the UK probably helps as well.
Of course,
day in, day out. And with the reading, before you said you had some issues with that.
Can I just mention one interesting thing?
Yeah.
Is that when I came to the UK, I did my second exam, because my first one I did in Lisbon before I came. When I did my second exam, I had a lower score in speaking than I had in my first attempt in Lisbon. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I was really nervous and I didn't have practiced that much, because I thought, oh, now I'm here. I've been here for a few months. I will I will be fine, because I have been speaking even at work, because I answer lots of phone calls. So I will be fine. But I was so nervous that I completely blocked. I couldn't answer the questions in the speaking exam.
Oh, that's interesting. It was like a little bit of overconfidence prior to the exam, and then lockdown, or like a nervous lockdown during the exam. Interesting. And
I had one complete band less.
Wow.
One complete. Yes.
Wow. And how did you overcome this? Because in your next exams, it was a different story, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was really frightened, because I was like, oh my God, now speaking is also a problem. So I found a teacher. She is an English teacher, and she is English. Yeah. So I was practicing the IELTS questions, which is really important, with her, like 30 minutes twice a week.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you were getting very familiar with the exam, with the format, and with the types of questions that are asked.
Yes.
Excellent. And then this kind of not only boosted your confidence before the exam, but actually during the exam, I imagine, was it less intimidating?
Yes, because that English teacher, she was like an examiner. So I was also training my confidence and how to control my nerves, how to look at her without being frightened, just to face it as a conversation between two people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is one of the techniques you adopted to overcome your nerves, was to kind of like reframe it as a conversation.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Just a normal conversation.
Excellent.
And always think, why you are saying that. Always try to develop your speech. Always try not to interrupt. Try to develop. Why are you saying that? Invent. Look at that as a story. Yeah. Or telling a story.
Absolutely. I was working with a student a few months ago, and we developed a framework where ideally the student would say because, after giving sort of like an opinion, and then maybe an example afterwards, which is very similar to the framework of what you just mentioned, of like, why am I saying this? Or what are the reasons? And yes, this is a very interesting point that you've mentioned, and very valuable for the students. I'll just take a second to highlight that developing your answers, as Lucia just mentioned, is absolutely critical. And a good way to develop them is, one way, as Lucia just mentioned, why. Another one is to expand them using because. And then another way is to give examples. And just one more bonus tip. If you're really struggling, you can use a quick framework, which is like, this is because of two reasons. Firstly, then talk, and then secondly. And it just gives you a structure from which you can expand your answers. So back to you, Lucia. Let's get back to the writing. What solutions did you try before you joined our course? What solutions did you try to improve your writing with?
Initially, I was trying by myself without that much feedback. But then I also asked for some help with that English teacher, but she is not trained for IELTS. So she gave me some feedback with my essays. But she wasn't trained in terms of structure, in terms of developing ideas in what they want with writing. I have enrolled in, can I say, an online course. Can I mention? No, I know I can't. Okay.
Go for it. It's fine. I don't mind.
Can I mention the name?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I enrolled in E2 language, which helped me to improve writing. And when I was on my third attempt, I actually scored what I needed in writing.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I asked for a review. It's not review.
Like
when
a remark.
Yes, I asked for a remark, and it increased. But I was under in reading.
Oh, so frustrating, isn't it? Oh, no.
So I could have done it in my third attempt. Yes, but then when I went for the next attempt, I was under with writing again. So writing was my problem. And I increased my reading. So because I invested more time with reading, because I thought, okay, now writing, I know more or less how to do it. I think I will be okay. So now I need to invest more time in reading.
Wow.
But then, yes, I was stuck in writing.
Oh my word! So it's like juggling, isn't it? You've got to keep your eye on all of them all of the balls that you're throwing up in the air. If you just concentrate on one, it could happen that one of them drops. Which, it's so frustrating.
I was also searching online how to structure IELTS writing essays. Basically, that was what I was, the resources I was using to help me to improve my IELTS writing. But I wasn't investing that much on proper feedback.
I see. I see. You just said that you weren't investing that much in proper feedback, right?
No.
I see. So this is when you thought, okay, I'm going to get some feedback. I'm going to join Ben's course. Is that right?
Yes. One day I was so this was after my 6th attempt.
Wow.
Yeah?
Okay.
And then I went to Google and I wrote something like how to pass writing IELTS, like the solution and book.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking for time. At that time, I was because that is really good to improve your writing skills. Because you will need to write on the exam. Yeah, the spelling is really important.
Yes.
So reading is really necessary.
Right.
And then I found your book about the writing essay.
Mm-hmm.
What is the name? It's IELTS Writing Task 2 Sentence Guide.
Right. Yes.
It's your book, Ben.
I know.
Yes. Yeah. How to get ideas and write high-scoring essays. So I just I read some good reviews about it, and I just bought it. And a few days when it was delivered, I started to reading your book and practicing. And then you say that we can send an essay to get a feedback.
Yes.
A free essay. And then I had Ellen. She made she corrected the essay. She gave me the feedback, and I liked it, and I liked the way she did it. And I thought, okay, that's fine. And then I went to your website. I enrolled the course, the writing course, and then I purchased some essays pack, like 8 essays pack, and the 20 essay pack.
Wow, gotcha. Wow. Okay, so you are very, very determined. Could I just ask you, before you joined the online course, did you have any concerns about moving forward, about buying it?
No.
Okay, cool. Good.
No. Yeah, of course I read some reviews. Yeah, right. Because, we have so much things on the internet nowadays that we don't know anymore. Is this okay? Is this reliable? Yeah. So yeah, I read some good reviews, and I thought, yeah, that's fine. I'm going to do it. I think I will be okay.
Super. Okay then. So you got the review from Ellen, and this was the one that started your first review, the first feedback session.
Yes.
What did you like about that review that Ellen gave you?
Well, she was reading my essays. She was highlighting like the weakest points, like the errors, and in terms of structure. And she's very energetic. She pushes the student. And in the end, I was like, oh yeah, I want to do it. I want to keep doing it, keep writing. And so she highlights your weakest points, but she also says, okay, you are good in this part, but you need to improve this. And it's really like interactive.
Yeah, totally. Super. So she was not only showing your errors, but also encouraging you, and what I think is incredibly important, and as you just mentioned, is encouraging you and rewarding, well, basically not rewarding, but highlighting the parts that are going well. Yeah.
Because then you realize how you are doing. Yeah. You can realize if you need to work more, if you need to invest more, or okay, you can go now to the exam and do it because it will be fine, probably.
Yeah, totally. So you were working through the course and you used the template. Well, you'd already got the template or the framework, the sentence guide from the book. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes. I didn't use it totally. I used some words. I used some ideas, but I didn't use it completely.
Right.
Because I don't like to memorize. I like to understand.
Yes.
I like the logic.
Yes.
But not because this is a so difficult exam. It's really tough. So many hours doing it. And I thought, I'm not going to memorize because I believe I will be fine because I understood the logic of it.
That's it.
And the idea.
Yeah,
yes.
That's it. Yeah. This is exactly what I try and communicate in the course. Like, you can memorize it at first. That's okay. But what I strongly encourage is that you take the principles here and you follow the principles of developing your argument using the framework. If you can fit it in word for word, then you're very fortunate, but ideally you're just going to use the principles there and develop it and personalize it yourself, and you'll have a strongly structured, coherent essay.
Yes.
Yeah, so it seems like you were doing a lot of essay writing to basically not memorize, because you just said you didn't want to memorize it, but to how do you say, integrate the principles.
Yes. So the main idea, so you have to mention your main idea and then explain why and then give an example.
Exactly.
Body paragraph.
Yes, yeah. And then conclude as well within the paragraph, ideally.
Yes, introduction and conclusion. Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you were working with Ellen and you bought these extra essay packs.
Ellen and Daphne, because at some point I had to start with Daphne because Ellen, she went on holiday.
Yes.
And then I started with Daphne. So Daphne, she corrected most of my essays.
Good. Yeah. Okay. And then this kind of built your confidence and...
Oh, totally. Completely. It helped me a lot.
Fantastic. That's excellent.
Yes.
And then once your confidence had been boosted, you decided to submit for the exam again.
Yes. But I said, I was in my last essay from the package, and I said to Daphne, I'm sending you my last one. I'm going for a 1 week break. I'm going on holiday. So I was lying because I was going to do the exam. She didn't know that. She didn't know that I was going to do the exam. Because, if I failed, it will be a very sad story. So then, yes, when I knew I passed, I just emailed her straight away, and I was really happy. And she was really happy.
Super. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And just one other question. Why didn't you continue with the E2 course? You started with them. Why didn't you continue?
Price. Yes, I think it was the price, and probably because it helped me to improve my writing skills.
Okay.
But then, I think the main reason was the price.
Okay.
Yeah, to buy more essays, because with you, it has a really good relation in terms of price and what you can offer. The quantity of essays.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
And also, I think some courses offer like a monthly package, which doesn't include the essay corrections. But I've always thought, and I still do think, that it's a complete conflict of interest to offer a monthly priced course with monthly access, because, like, if you're a business, you want to continue them paying the monthly price as much as possible, and that means them not passing. So it's always been, that's why I've kind of avoided that structure. But yeah, that's why with our course, it's just you buy the course, you get access, and you get the essay corrections included, and you just keep moving forward and keep improving with more feedback. So yeah, that's as you know, that's our structure. So is there anything else that we haven't covered yet that you would like to expand on? Maybe some resources, maybe some techniques?
Yes, I also used the Grammarly. I bought the Grammarly Premium, which was very, very helpful.
Interesting.
Yes, I also wrote about some recent tasks too, shown in the IELTS Lee's website.
Right, I see. So you were answering recent questions as well.
In terms of ideas, I had lots of notes in my bedroom's wall.
Okay.
Yes, about like the main topics or the usual topics to help me to improve, to study my ideas. And that was the main resources I used.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, I think getting up to date on recent questions and planning possible answers and researching the topics are definitely
and also
important.
Those topics, they can be asked in your speaking.
Yes, absolutely.
So I believe it was really helpful.
And how did you start getting ideas for these topics?
Google. Yes.
So if you didn't have any idea about the question, you would just type the topic into Google and then start reading about it.
Yes, just try to find 1 to 2 main ideas. And just one explanation for each.
Absolutely.
And 1 or 2 examples. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good work there. Good work. That's a good tip. And we also encourage the students at the beginning of the course to write ideas down for a list of questions, and if they can't find ideas, we encourage them to do exactly what Lucia just mentioned, to jump online, to do some research, start reading, and start developing opinions about these topics. So finally, Lucia, as my last question, there's 2 more questions.
Okay.
The final question will be about your grades, and the penultimate question is this one, which is, what would you say to anybody who is sitting on the fence right now about whether they should join us or not?
Definitely, 200% join IELTS podcast. You are not spending money, you are investing. Yes. I spent a lot of money with this IELTS exam. I don't know how much, because I didn't want to realize to know exactly the amount.
Yes.
But it is without a doubt a great investment, and the course and the writing feedback is really, really good. And I found 2 great teachers. They helped me a lot.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Lucia. Yes.
You're welcome.
I totally agree with you. It is an investment. And it's, for example, if you can invest in yourself by buying the course, and it saves you taking 3 exams or 4 exams, then it's been a money-saving investment. That's the way.
Also, sorry, Ben, to interrupt you, but it having the feedback from Daphne, for example, because she was a teacher who I was most of the time. She became she turned for me, writing was like a burden. Writing, I have to write. She turned this in something interesting, because the feedback I was getting from her, it was really good, and I was improving with her, and she was giving me really good feedback. So she was motivating me a lot. And I miss her, to be honest. Yes, I miss her, yeah.
You can buy an extra pack of essay corrections.
Well, I don't have time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
She's really good.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, building this relationship. And as we were just saying, you do build a relationship and you are getting more motivated to write these essays.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, definitely. Okay,
because it's a thing you really need is to, when you fail so many times, you need lots of motivation and you need to find it somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think practically all the people listening to the podcast, I think they're fighters, because, you're fighting to improve, but to go to stay in a country, to get to a country, to join a university, to join a course of some sort. I think everybody on this podcast listening is a fighter. Yeah. And we get our motivation. Maybe it's because, I don't know, we've got a brother or sister in Canada, or maybe we're doing it for ourselves. But motivation is like a finite resource. We can only pull on it so much. And sometimes it's good. It's extremely beneficial if we know that somebody's on our team and pushing us forward,
Yes. Definitely.
It's just so much more motivating when you know that you're not alone in this. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Totally agree with you there. Yeah. So, final question, Lucia. Okay. Can you tell us what scores? And you took the exam 7 times, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
And what were your final scores then?
So my final scores were listening, I got 8.
Wow.
Reading 9.
Wow.
Writing 7.
Wow.
And speaking 8.
That is wonderful, Lucia.
Thank you.
And what an improvement, no? You were worried about your reading and then you went and studied and you got it up to a 9? That's insane.
Yeah, and once it was my weakest point.
Yeah.
This is to show that with work and commitment and being positive, you can do it.
Exactly. Yes, I totally agree with you there. And I think your words will be so inspiring because a lot of students,
thank you.
They really, it can be easy. It's not easy, but it can be it can be logical to deduce that, hey, this isn't for me, I'm going to do something else. But if you've got the tenacity and the determination, and if you're on the right team, just like Lucia mentioned, and you're getting the right feedback, then you can definitely do this. And as Lucia just mentioned as well, it's up to you. Lucia did the reading all by herself. Is that right, Lucia?
Yeah. Yes. True.
Yeah. So, I mean, with the speaking and with the writing all by yourself can be more challenging. It's not impossible, but it can be incredibly more challenging. With those, I recommend feedback, but with the listening and the reading, practice tests and just determination as well, definitely the way forward. So thank you so much, Lucia.
You're welcome.
You are an absolute star, an absolute inspiration.
Thank you very much.
Well done. And you're definitely staying in the UK. As stupid as the politicians are, they would never, ever kick out anybody like you.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll be fine.
We'll all be fine. We just stop listening to the media, get our heads down and work, and we can't do much else. Yeah. So thanks again, Lucia.
Thank you for all your help, and thank you very much for existing. And you are doing a great job.
Cheers, Lucia. Thank you.
You're welcome. All the best.
Thanks for listening to IELTSPodcast.com.